Hey, quick tutorial on fake checkpoints. I didn't know about them, didn't know how to place them. Robin gave me the heads up, so thanks for that. And I just thought I'd make a video in case anyone else doesn't know. So at the moment I've got a wall ride all the way around there and exiting back in the exact same spot. Now, if I place a checkpoint on the wall, people will just fall in the ocean. So at the moment I've got a checkpoint there and a checkpoint there, so you wouldn't do the wall ride, you'd just drive around and get the checkpoint. Okay, in order to place a fake, I need to change the race type, because at the moment I'm on STUNT. So I'm going to race type, change to transform race. And get these checkpoints. And just hold down L3 so they raise up and turn orange. Do the same thing with this one. So now when they come down here, remember always have a couple of checkpoints tight together so people know they're going straight on. So they go up around the wall, they physically have to hit that, and then they can exit off up the road. So now I have the stunt with the fake checkpoints, but I'm on the wrong class setting. Just come out and save. And if you go to your race type, you can see, why would I change to transform race? I was already transform race. Well, it's changed it back for me. So it's back to being a stunt race, except with fake checkpoints. The one problem with this is the start grid. It's reverted my start grid. So I've got a 16 player start grid now, and it's long, which is no good. Now I've got the problem, I've swapped back to 30, but I can't fit that in. Now on a different bit of road it wouldn't be so much of a problem. Everybody sort of starts in a fair position if it's like that, but obviously this road is too narrow. So a small start grid, I think most people know by now. You gotta have small, so it reverts to bikes automatically. Let's get my start grid back. Give it a save. Test. You don't do the test, it reverts back to that long one. And then I can change the vehicle. And I've got my grid back. I can then test the job and publish, and the fake checkpoints will be in my stunt race. Be mindful as well, when you swap to transform and swap back, all your settings will have reverted. So custom vehicles are still restricted, that's handy, but ambient pedestrians are on and the traffic will be on. So just check any other settings just in case, but those two definitely get reset. Now, if you want to add a fake checkpoint to a race you've just built and you've already published it, or you've built over an old race, it's slightly different. So I will again change this to a transform race. Pop the fakes in. as it's already been published, it knows there's a problem. Still wants me to sort out checkpoint, and it's automatically saying grid because it knows there's a grid. Pick up the grid, place the grid down, and then I would have to test. I've now tested it, so I'll update it as a 16-player transform race with those fake checkpoints in place. Now for the annoying bit. If you don't mind the grid being large, depending on where you place in the grid, I would simply pick up the main grid, change it to 30 players, I then need to test it again. So I've done the test. I can then update this version. Like I say, if I was keeping a medium-sized grid, I'd be on a different bit of road. So I've got a 30-player grid. I've got 2 fakes over here. And I am in a standard stunt race. I've left these props underneath in because I'm going to need them. I want a small grid, and that's a bit more tricky. So the last thing to do is to change the grid, because this is obviously not going to work. Place down my grid. Now I have to test with the bikes, which is a problem unless you can glide, and even then it's a pain in the ass. So I need to get the bikes over there, which is why I left those in earlier. Now I can reach all the checkpoints with the bikes, so time to start the test. One thing to note when you're getting these checkpoints in a bike, it's not going to happen now because I've got them low enough, but I did have one that I couldn't reach when I initially made this job. Now all you have to do if you can't get it is just do a wheelie underneath it and you'll pick the checkpoint up, as long as you've not got it crazy high, obviously. Right, now that's been tested, so I'll update. Test to restore the grid. And pop it back to a medium. I've got that grid back. And then I just need to tidy up all these random props. Need to be deleted. And of course, make sure you delete them away from the checkpoints. You delete a prop underneath the checkpoint and the checkpoint disappears and you'll have to start all of this again. Now bearing in mind, this is already a stunt race now, it was just a grid correction. All you've got to do now is test and republish. You've got a small grid and you've got fake checkpoints, and that's a nice long-winded tutorial. So yeah, cheers.